All right, everybody, what is going on? Good afternoon. Hope you guys are doing well on this Victory Monday. Continues to be Victory Monday. And we do have some news that certainly relates to the Seattle Seahawks, although we didn't get a lot directly from the team. I'll just go ahead and say that right at the front here. Mike McDonald did have his weekly appearance on Seattle Sports Radio, but there wasn't really a lot in terms of like football Seahawks stuff. For the most part, he talked about his favorite Thanksgiving dishes, and then he talked about hip drop tackle on JSN that didn't get called, and there wasn't really a lot of news. So if you were hoping for an update on maybe Julian Love or Jaron Reed or Eric Saubert or anybody like that, we don't have that. We also didn't get anything about Okada, which I know is the big one from yesterday's game. So nothing new there. All right, guys, let's take a minute so I can tell you about Sleeper, a one-stop shop for all your sports needs. You can celebrate and chat on sports games in real time with other users. You can get the fastest scores, blazing fast sports news and sports alerts right at your fingertips. And of course, you can use Sleeper to play in fantasy leagues and win real money on picks contests. This is the way sports were meant to be enjoyed together. So download Sleeper today. Use promo code SBN to get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. And you can pair that with another promo they have right now where you can get a $20 entry free with no deposit required. So get both of those things going. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states and growing. So check out Sleeper today. Get to it and go have some fun with sports this year. All right, so the news we have concerns the other team, and it's actually fairly significant, although I don't know how much it really changes things, but let's talk about it here, and everybody can make their own decision on whether or not they think that it means something. But according to many sources this morning, including Tom Pelissero, the Vikings might be looking at a different quarterback this week because while they haven't confirmed anything yet, their quarterback, J.J. McCarthy, is in concussion protocol, according to Coach Kevin O'Connell. So if he actually has a concussion, it's pretty much unthinkable that he would be able to make it back a week later. But they have to actually make sure he has what is actually a concussion. My understanding is that he's had the concussion-like symptoms, and they put him through the protocol. That doesn't necessarily mean he has one, doesn't necessarily mean that he has to miss this week, but if he actually has one, which is typically how this plays out, can't imagine he's going to play, and I don't know why, if you're the Vikings, why you would even feel the need to push him out there with a concussion. He's already playing so poorly, just to go ahead and put it plainly. It's hard to imagine how bad he could be if he actually tried to play with a partial concussion or an actual concussion or whatever. So, real chance J.J. McCarthy's out this week. And remember, Carson Wentz is still injured. He was trying to play through a bunch of injuries earlier this year. It caught up to him. He's not going to be able to play this week either. So, there is a very good chance Max Brosmer will be the quarterback for Minnesota when we play them next week. So, I mean, on the one hand, that sounds bad, right? That's your third string quarterback, an undrafted rookie. I actually remember Brosmer a little bit because I scouted him a little bit for the draft. I didn't hate what I saw. I thought he was maybe like a very late day 3 guy. Ended up going undrafted, which certainly wasn't egregious. There's nothing there that says he absolutely has to get drafted. But it sounds bad, right? Like you're down to your third string quarterback, a guy who's never really done anything in the NFL yet. Even if he's maybe a little bit more exciting than the typical third string quarterback, it's pretty bad. On the other hand, J.J. McCarthy was playing so poorly that there is part of you that wonders, how could it get worse? How can you get worse than McCarthy has been in recent weeks? And then you think about it and you're like, I guess you could be worse. I guess at least J.J. McCarthy has an NFL caliber arm. Not sure if Brosmer does. Brosmer can do a little of the short stuff. He can check it down. He can kind of matriculate the ball down the field a little bit maybe, but I don't know if he really has the NFL arm. At least McCarthy has that. Other than that, though, I'm not convinced it'll be that big of a difference. I'm not entirely convinced that it will change anything too radically, but it certainly is significant if Minnesota doesn't even have their intended starting quarterback for this game. So we'll keep track of this throughout the week, but it might be Max Brosmer season. And hey, McDonald got to play a rookie quarterback last week, and he might get to play a rookie quarterback this week. I know McCarthy's kind of a rookie, but Brosmer is a full rookie, like an undisputed rookie, no doubt about it. And keep in mind, we're also playing another backup quarterback next week because we're playing Kirk Cousins because Penix is out, and we know he's out for at least that game, probably out for the year. Now, again, that's another one where I don't know if there's a huge difference, but nevertheless, it is a backup quarterback. We did get a little bit more from O'Connell about injury stuff, although he didn't actually provide anything concrete. But they're working through issues across their offensive line. Christian Darrisaw is hurt. No updates on him. Donovan Jackson, their guard, is hurt. So whoever the quarterback may be on Sunday, their offensive line is a wreck. So on some level, it doesn't even really matter that much. They can't really block up front. This is probably worse than the offensive line they had last year after Darrisaw got hurt then. And that was the offensive line that saw Sam Darnold really kind of level off in the second half of the season. So they've got problems beyond just who the quarterback is. Also, Josh Metellus could be missing this game as well. We'll find out more later. But no real update there. He's their starting safety, by the way. So not an offensive lineman, but they got real problems over there. All right, that's really all I got. Again, Seattle didn't really disclose anything, but hopefully we'll find out stuff on Wednesday with the first practice. Would be really nice to get Julian Love back this week because I don't know what's going on with Okada. Some people were talking about the Okada injury. They were speculating. They saw that he got hurt on a play and then stayed in for 2 plays and then left the game. At least that's what they believe happened, which that would be encouraging. The fact that he was able to stay in the game for a couple plays, I guess, but we'll have to see what happens there because there's an outside chance we end up having to roll with D'Anthony Bell as a starting safety this week, and that's maybe not going to hurt you that much against a team like the Vikings with a third string quarterback, but in general, that's not really the lever you want to be pulling. Okay, let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys later. More videos coming soon. Go Hawks. And yeah, that is the story when it comes to this upcoming game.